Buzin Wagma is a professor of Center for Iranian Studies, SOAS, at the University of London. He's now joining us live from London. Professor, welcome to WION The World is One. If the unfolding situation indeed escalates, do you think Iran can confront Israel on its own?
It could try through desperate measures as a last-ditch effort to save the regime, which is very embattled, very besieged, and extremely broke. Given that there is none in the Iranian ring of fire as its long-arm proxies to assist it, and who it was banking on to eliminate the Jewish state from the Middle East. That has been its avowed goal since 1979 and the Islamic Revolution. That's not happening, what with Hezbollah, Hamas, and the Houthis down and out. So Iran is reading from that, not to mention that Assad, also as a client ally, is no more on the scene. And please don't forget that Hezbollah has not forgiven Tehran for not coming to its aid when Israel decimated part of its infrastructure and deterrence capabilities in Lebanon too. So the Iranians are besieged and they will make some audacious moves at most, but there is precious little they can do because Israel has been taking out its strategic defense capabilities. And the Israeli thinking, which of course is so fast changing and everything is protean on the scene, currently Israeli think, from what I infer, would be to deplete Iran's ballistic missile arsenal, which give or take stands at about 2,000 in stock. Not to mention that they also have been using the Shahid 136 drones, which they of course have sent to Russia to obliterate Ukraine as well. So the point is, at most it can do that, or in terms of asymmetric warfare, attempt to close the Straits of Hormuz and disrupt oil and gas lines for the rest of the world. But then the straits are jointly administered and controlled by Iran and Oman, and Muscat is one of the few, if only, Arab neighbors in the Arab world on who Iran can bank upon and has done so far, and wouldn't want to burn its bridges with Oman.
Professor, there is fear that the conflict could spread to the wider region if it is not controlled. Is there a possibility of that happening? And if it does, what are the ramifications and who suffers the most?
I'm afraid I do not see that happening for the simple reason that one talks about the proverbial Arab street erupting in revolt or outrage. We've seen precious little of that across the Muslim world. Iran must be shell-shocked to realize that nobody from the Muslim world, save for a few rhetorical blandishments from here and there, has actually come to its aid or spoken up stoutly for it. Because for one thing, you must realize that Israel's audacious moves in the last 48 hours are privately welcomed by each and every member, I repeat, each and every member of the GCC, Gulf Cooperation Council states, Arab states of the Persian Gulf, not to mention the larger Arab world at large too, which is the Arab Islamic world, the non-GCC world. So you have to realize that for them, Iran has been an existential threat since 1979, given that it has, exported seditious ideas, revolutions, aided proxies of all sorts, including terrorist hijackings in the 1980s of civilian airliners, Hajj riots in Saudi Arabia, as we saw in 1987, which were conducted by so-called Iranian pilgrims, and even last month, this month, when Eid just concluded, there were demonstrations in Saudi Arabia conducted extempore by Iranian pilgrims against Israel and the like. And nobody in the Arab world wants such politicking from Iran. And they've all considerably felt threatened under Iran's nuclear overshadow. That cannot be ruled out. Israel is the least of it.
Professor, finally, Israel claims to have destroyed the Natanz nuclear facility and it has at least damaged it. One of Iran's main nuclear facilities buried deep underground, along with attacks on other sites, and more is yet to come, and that's according to Israeli leaders. But if the war is controlled, how quickly can Iran rebuild? Very quickly.
That's a very good question. The pilot enrichment plant, which is above ground at Natanz, has been damaged, no question about it, including the electricity infrastructure and substations. They stand decimated. The question is how quickly they can do it. One can get an idea of that from the fact that the IAEA report of 31st May mentioned that Iran has enriched 400 plus kilos of uranium. That is enough for 10 nuclear warheads, had it been taken to its logical conclusion for purification and refining. And Iran then would have been able to mount these nuclear warheads on its ballistic missiles. It was this Israeli calculus that must be factored in. And that is to be seen because Iran has switched off cameras at all locations and has not cooperated with the IAEA, which formally announced on 1st June of 2025 that Iran stands in violation of its obligations as an NPT signatory.
Professor Burzin Wagma is a professor of Center for Iranian Studies, SOAS, at the University of London. Professor, thank you very much for talking to us today.
Pleasure.